Hello, and welcome to Week 4 of CIS 205, Introduction to Data Communications and Networking. Let's get started. So, what is due this week? Well, by now you're hopefully used to the pattern, and that is we have 2 quizzes that are due this week, plus you are expected to participate in the discussion forum. This week you have 3 videos to watch as part of your discussion forum assignment. It's about a group known as Anonymous, and I hope that you will enjoy the content. So this week it should be an interesting exercise for you. I hope that it is. In addition to the quizzes and the discussion forum, however, this week we are introducing our first lab. We're going to do a lab this week involving Wireshark, and I'll discuss the details with you in just a moment. Research paper proposals will be returned next week. They were due tonight. Then the research paper, it's worth noting, is due 4 weeks from tonight. I highly recommend that this coming week, now that you've submitted your research paper proposal, that you go and review if you haven't already, and I know that most of you haven't because I can see how many downloads have occurred. I highly recommend that this week that you go and you review the sample research papers that I posted. Please take a look at what was considered or what is considered to be a model paper for this class. You may be surprised at the level of effort that's required to get a good grade for this assignment. Again, I provided these samples for you so there won't be any surprises about the level of work that's expected for this class. So again, please make it a point, if you haven't done so already, and I know most of you have not, please make it a point to take a look at the sample research paper this week. Also, while you're planning out the second half of this course, those of you that are thinking that you would like to earn an extra 10 points on your research paper assignment, you should go ahead and plan to have your paper done, at least the first draft of your research paper completed, by 4/17 so that you can submit it to the North Carolina Wesleyan College Writing Center. That will be a week before the paper is actually due. Typically, the Writing Center can turn a paper around in a day or 2, so this will give you enough time to submit it, take a look at whatever edits or drafts they recommend, whatever changes they recommend, incorporate those changes, and then get the research paper submitted by 4/23. So I highly recommend that you take advantage of this particular service. It's an easy way to get a letter grade boost on this assignment. So if you have any questions about this, please let me know. Again, we're all, for the most part, distance education students. You do not have to go on campus to access or use the Writing Center. It can all be done online. So if you have any questions about this, please let me know. On to the new content. So this week we're introducing a new feature, and that is lab work. So lab number 1 is due next Sunday. To complete the lab, you're going to need to complete the following steps. So you notice that step 4, I'll jump down to that for a minute and then go back and review. Step 4 is where you begin the actual lab. Steps 1, 2, and 3 are set up so that you can complete the lab. So step 1 is to download and install Oracle VirtualBox. All of the software is available to you for free. None of this is going to damage the host that you're working on, so your laptop, your desktop, wherever you're doing your principal schoolwork. So we'll start with downloading and installing Oracle VirtualBox. Oracle VirtualBox, again, is available for free. It's what's known as a Type 2 hypervisor. And a Type 2 hypervisor, also known as a hosted hypervisor, is the software construct inside which your virtual machine is going to run. So you're going to download Oracle VirtualBox. It installs just like any other application in Windows. You can click through and accept the defaults for every option, and the installation only takes a few minutes. Once the installation is complete, then you want to install Windows 7. Now, you can also do Windows 10. The example that I'm going to show is going to be using Windows 7, but you can use Windows 10 if you like. It's basically the same thing. But using Windows 7 or whatever version of Windows you use, you're going to use your Microsoft Imagine account, and there is the hyperlink to that account provided by, again, North Carolina Wesleyan College. So this software will be available to you for no cost. So the things you need to remember is you're downloading an ISO. You're going to use that ISO to install your virtual machine. When you're downloading the Windows 7 version, it's important to note the license key. Also, it's important to note that Windows 7 will install without a license key. You can, when you get to that part in the OS installation, you can say skip and then come back later to install the key before the trial period has ended. Windows 10 doesn't have such a trial period. If you download Windows 10, the installation will not proceed until you provide the installation key, and again, that key is available through Microsoft Imagine. So if you've got any questions about that, please let me know. So, step 3, once you've installed VirtualBox, and then once you've installed Windows 7 or 10 inside of Oracle VirtualBox, now you're ready to download and install Wireshark on your Windows 7 VM. And the address is listed there. Once you have those 3 things installed and your virtual machine is ready to go, then you can complete the lab as it is laid out on page 80 of your textbook. If you've never done this sort of thing, it may sound complicated, but the good news is it's really not that hard. Again, Oracle VirtualBox, installing that is just like installing any other Windows application. It downloads as an executable. You click OK to install it, and away you go. Again, the whole installation just takes a few minutes. The trickier part is probably installing the VM inside of Oracle VirtualBox if you've never done that before. And I'm going to post a short video to show you how to do that. It's not going to be tonight, but I will get it out there this week, and that will help you complete your assignment as well. And then once you have your Windows 7 machine running inside of Oracle VirtualBox, and again, I want to stress, if you're nervous about doing something to your host system, your laptop or your desktop or wherever you're using this, remember that a virtual machine is encapsulated and isolated from the host, which means that you can do anything that you want to that virtual machine without impacting the host. So let's say, for example, this Windows 7 machine you install, you decide for whatever reason to go into the registry and start deleting things, right? You're trying to clear up some hard drive space for some more, I don't know, cat videos. And you just go in there and start deleting stuff left and right, and then what do you know? Your virtual machine crashes, as you would expect. So what do? Do you panic? Think, oh no, my host is going to crash? Nope, not at all. All the edits that you've done to that virtual machine stay with that virtual machine. Nothing is translated to that host. So, and this goes for malware too. If your virtual machine were to become infected with something, at the OS level at least, then that doesn't necessarily mean that your host is infected with that. So just a general comment. They are completely isolated, so you can do this exercise without fear of damaging your host system. And then finally, downloading and installing Wireshark. One caveat here. If you're talking about Windows, and well, everybody is in this class, but if you're talking about Windows, you're going to be installing either a 32-bit version or a 64-bit version. And it simply needs to match your operating system. So most of you have a 64-bit operating system that you're using for your primary workstation, so you will install the 64-bit version of Wireshark. And then again, like I said, once you have that environment set up, you should be ready to move ahead with the lab as it is laid out on page 80. So steps 1, 2, and 3, I'll size this to be about a 2-hour effort. That's probably a little long, but they'll give you a rough idea of how long I think it should take, which is to say no more than 2 hours, really. When I did this on my machine, it took me about 30 minutes, and that was with some pauses in between as my virtual machine was setting up. But suffice it to say, it's really not that complicated. And if this is your first time doing it, this is a great exercise because since we are in a class talking about networking and cloud computing and hyperscale and hyperconverged and software defined, everything that's exciting in IT these days, in other words, it all happens on virtual machines. So, if this is your first exposure, congratulations. It's something that should be a significant part of your IT training going forward. And that's it. So that's a high level overview of what we're doing this week. I hope it'll be a fun and challenging week for you. As a reminder, I have office hours from 8 p.m. to 9:30 on Wednesdays. You can reach me through remind.com during that time, again 8:30 to 9:30 on Wednesdays, or for those of you that have installed that app on your phone, thank you, and feel free to reach out to me anytime. So if you have any questions or comments this week, please send me an email. And again, I hope you will find the material that we've laid out will not only be fun and challenging, but you'll find yourself learning all sorts of new things. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for listening.